I'm Ashlyn and my husband is Zach, and we're traveling A to Z. Join us as we go explore Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. Our first stop is Zapata Falls. Today we're in southern Colorado, right outside the Great Sand Dunes National Park. We're first gonna go to Zapata Falls and do a hike. Zapata Falls is 0.8 miles round trip and you gain 193 feet elevation. We're heading to Zapata Falls. And it's, what do you call it, washboard road?
It's rocky.
Rocky, it's really rocky. And we're in a Toyota Corolla. Probably not the best idea, but we saw a little Honda do it, so we're like, we could do it. So here we are driving on this rocky road. We're over halfway there and so far have not bottomed out, got stuck, or damaged our oil pan. So we're feeling pretty good about this. So far, the bottom section is the worst, but this is pretty good too. Go Toyota!
We're in the parking lot, yay!
It only took us like an hour to drive up here. I think the drive is gonna take us longer than the hike. But our car made it halfway, and now we're gonna go hike Zapata Falls. Well, so far it's a nice little hike, and a little less than a mile out here. That should be a nice stroll. This area was formed by glaciers, and the stream is where the glaciers were at. About halfway down, we get to a river crossing, and they recommend bringing water shoes because it gets really wet and you're gonna probably get your feet wet if you don't. So we just changed into water shoes.
So we're getting closer, we hear water rushing. We made it!
That is so cool!
The water's really cold.
It is. This is cool. It's kind of like the Narrows in Zion. You walk through, but way, way shorter. Really cold though. It's cool.
Ashlyn, trying to find the most difficult way possible.
Always. It only took us 0.9 miles round trip, and it was only 160 foot elevation gain. Recommend bringing sandals that you could hike in, like Tevas or Chacos, because we just walked right on with the rocks and it was perfect. Everyone else was like barefoot or in their hiking boots and kind of having troubles. My feet are definitely cold, but it only takes about 5 minutes, so it's okay. This was awesome though, very awesome, worth the trip. The drive definitely took us way, way longer than the hike. So we officially made it. We made it in our Toyota Corolla. Came back in all one piece, luckily. It took us a long time to drive up and down. You could do it in a car if you take your time, but it's a little sketchy. So I recommend an all-wheel or four-wheel drive. In the distance, you can see the sand dunes with the Rocky Mountains, and that's where we're heading next. Grand Sand Dune National Park.
Sand dunes. Kind of looks like home.
Just made it to the Great Sand Dunes National Park, and we're gonna go try to find this river that runs through the sand dunes. Very few places in the world has this phenomenon. So we're walking to go find the river. Typically, it runs the best between May and June with the snow melt. Unfortunately, it's now August. There's been quite a bit of rain for the last week or so, so the river actually hasn't receded as much as it usually does. And so hopefully it's not too far of a hike. It's about, I don't know, 72 degrees out. Not super hot, but the sand is definitely a lot hotter than that. We reached the start of the river. It's more mud right here. So hopefully there's some water somewhere. The kids are playing in the muddy puddles ahead of us. It's kind of funny. But we want real water. To be 4 again, enjoying playing in the mud.
You can play in the mud if you want.
Yes, I could, but I think it's more enjoyable if you're 4 or 5. So the river is pretty big. Right now it's, starting to evaporate and go into the sand, but you could see how big it was. It's all dark still. It's pretty neat. This is pretty crazy. A river with sand dunes with the Rocky Mountains behind. It's really beautiful. The water's really warm too. It's like bath water.
Pea water.
It is not pea water, don't listen to him. Supposedly, in the May, June, the water is high enough and fast enough that you can like raft down it and play in it. I mean, people are playing it, but they're more playing in the mud. But it's actually like a legit river during the springtime, which would be really cool to see.
We found a little flowing water, but most of the water is gone. We're going to head back to the parking lot and then go hike High Dune.
You can see all the people hiking the sand dunes and sledding down. All those black things are little people, just look like ants. We're starting our hike to the high sand dune. It's the second tallest sand dune in this national park. And we don't have time for the highest, which is 50 feet more than the other one. And this is supposed to be about a 3-mile round trip total hike. And that's where we're going.
Yep.
Star Dune is 750 feet and is the tallest sand dune in North America. High Dune is 699 feet.
And we're hiking, and we're hiking.
We're getting closer. Walking in sand or hiking in sand is definitely hard.
Snowboarding down, that looks like fun.
That's a storm coming. And that's Ashlyn super tired.
Oh.
I've never heard somebody moan so much trying to get up a sand dune. It was like,
It's hard. I'm tired.
I've heard that before.
We're almost there. We can see the top. We're like on the edge by ourselves right now. Okay. It's a little flatter. And the view is gorgeous. And the nice thing is, the sun isn't as bright right now because the storm's coming in, so cool down. Thank God. because it was hot and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. I can see the top and the end. We're almost there. We made it to the top, 699 feet to high Dune. As soon as we made it to the top, a sandstorm came, which is right behind us, blowing us almost off the mountain. And we're getting like sandburn from all the wind. We ran down. We're almost down. It's raining now. It's raining really hard. Zach left and ran because he didn't want to get wet. He's way in front. I just can't run anymore. My feet hurt. So I'm just gonna get wet. Oh well.
You could see how red my legs are from being sandblasted by the rain and the wind.
I am so dirty. Oh my gosh.
I hope you enjoyed exploring Great Sand Dunes National Park and Zapata Falls. Please subscribe below to follow more of our adventures.